Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with this week's Rogue Deck Roundup. I got it right the second time around. There we go. I got Kamel here with me. You know why? Because he loves Rogue decks.
That's right. That's right. In Circus, we may have a graduation on our hands soon
That's
enough.
true. I can't wait to get to that. But everybody's like, what is the Rogue Deck Roundup? Well, it's like the power rankings where we track what's going on in the tournament scene and we see how decks perform and we assign them points based on how they finish in the tournament. So if a deck gets a first place finish, it gets 6 points. A second place is 4. A top 4 is 2 points, and a top 8 is a single point. Now with the tournaments that we track, we got to make sure they're all consistent, and we had some inconsistencies this week, sir, on the power ranking. So we want to make sure we get that right away with the rogue decks. And basically, the attorneys have to be rounds of Swiss into a top cut. And then the big thing that tripped us up in the power rankings this week was they have to have a side deck format, a 6 card or 7 card side, and then you can side in a skill. And 2 tournaments switched their format this week, and that was the Meta Weekly and the MCS. So those were taken out of the rogue decks. So the ones that did qualify were the Battle Phase series, and then the Meta Freakly Sunday and the Meta Freakly Friday. All right, so there you go. Moving on then to who won the power or the rogue deck roundup this week. In first place with a whopping
10 points. Wow. Road decks have been lit this past
Yeah,
week.
that's pretty good, man. Who do you think it's gonna be, Kamal? I know you know, but pretend you don't. Who do you think it's gonna be?
Oh my God. Who could it be? Who's the new top tier rogue deck?
We should ask Neg One because he's looking at that girl in the red dress. That's all I'm saying. Magician girls, what's up? Look at
Magician
that.
Girls, aka Neg One's new waifus.
Yeah, there you go.
They are at the top of the power rankings, and at the recording of this video, after last week's tournament results, the DLM tier list has put them at tier 2, and we are going to hold the graduation ceremony for
Yeah,
Magician Girls because they have finally entered the meta and they stayed in it.
officially.
They've been on the power rankings 2 weeks in a row. I do want to give it one final week before next week. If they're on the power rankings, they will not be in rogue decks. So
Okay. That's
there
fair
you
enough.
go. Because
It's
one
always
week,
hard to just say, when does it graduate? Because we don't want to do it too early. Maybe they're just having a couple of good weeks, but they seem like a pretty solid meta deck at this point.
yeah,
Like the new
it
way to
did
play invoked.
better
Yeah.
than other meta decks this week. So that's why it has its place.
Oh, if you include the MCS and the Meta Weekly, it Magician Girls lost like 3 or 4 top 8 finishes because of it.
Yeah.
So
So
just
Magician Girls definitely a meta strategy right now. So they will be removed from rogue decks next week. But looking below is some of the decks that have been popping up consistently: Lunalights and Spellbooks. The next 2 decks I
yeah.
want to talk about. Lunalights specifically been popping up a lot because they make specific very good use of DD Crow. I have noticed probably the
Hmm.
deck that has utilized them the most consistently so far in the main and the side. And yeah, they just like Karibo is actually a pretty good card right now in decks that can utilize it like
Well, wait
very
till you see
well.
the guy's deck that won. Nix, you should see his deck, how many Karivos he's running.
Oh yeah, that's just something to bring up. And Spellbooks as well.
Yep.
Spellbooks, even though it did get expunged from this week's results, they did get a top 32 in the MCS.
Yeah.
So
And the
that
one that got removed from here, rest in peace, Weather Painters, won the Meta Weekly.
and then the results got wrecked. Get
Yep.
them out of
Sorry,
here.
guys. The secret Weather Painters Discord is just screaming right now. They're like, it's a Meta Weekly win, but it's not a
they,
Rogue Deck Roundup win. So
they are in shambles.
yeah. All
All
right, let's
right.
take a look at Magician Girls. This week though, they did win Meta Freakly Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the rest were top 8s. Not too bad though. I mean, a lot of people played them 77 times. That was a little bit higher, obviously, with the Meta Weekly and the MCS. But like I said, we had to take them out. So,
Yeah, so this year is just basically proof that we can't basically classify this as a rogue deck anymore. Like 77 representation is
right.
insane with the 6% conversion rate to the top 32. These are meta numbers for sure. A tournament win plus 4 top 8s on the week, and basically, Magician Girls is very self-explanatory. Everything that makes it meta is there in the deck list that you see. It has the backrow protection, all types of disruption for your opponent, and the very easy way to recycle your monsters to bring out invoked extra deck monsters. And that's all you need. It's the best invoke strategy right now, so that is why it is on the tier list.
Well, the actual cards do something, and that's the problem with roids, right? Like Berry Magician Girl, a great stalling tactic, which you need
Right.
to do when you're playing Invoke, because you're just
And
stalling until you can
Roids,
get to
like,
Purgatrio.
yeah, the thing with Roids, like, it feels like you're kind of just playing like substitute monsters for
Right,
better monsters of that attribute. Like the Roids, like, yeah, they're cool, but they only do like Roid shit, you know, so they
right.
don't really matter for the rest of
Well,
your
like the
deck.
ambulance or whatever, the fire one, it's just a fire
Ambulance,
monster,
yeah,
you
Ambulance
know.
Roid, yeah.
Whereas all the Magician Girls at least do something to help you further your stall or your strategy to get
Mm,
into your Purgatrio or your Cocytus.
yeah,
So not bad. But as you can see, in playing that meta back row,
for sure, of course. That everyone should have that right there. Get
I
it.
think we
Go get it if
pointed
you
out
don't have
last
it.
time, didn't we? Right there. What's
Yep.
that?
Wall
Walla
D,
D.
baby, go get it.
All right, here we go. Next deck, Lunalights. This is Nyx's deck. I got to
Mm.
cast this game, so I know this one pretty well. Look at that, 6
Six
Karibos.
Karibos, and he
Yeah,
won Spookface Sunday. Oh
yeah.
my gosh!
Not the one that
And
was
this
like 2 days ago, but the one that was the week before, because it's
and
the way the rogue decks or yeah
yeah,
work. So
and this deck just looks super clean. Like
doesn't it?
three Spirit Karibo, three regular Karibo. He's got whatever he needs for any situation. Of course, the regular Karibo being played for when you want to utilize Cat Dancer to attack a monster twice that has been reduced to zero optimally by the Crimson Fox. That's your kind of reason for playing the Vanilla Karibo as well as Spirit Karibo, which is just to protect your life points because Grit is no longer a viable skill for this deck.
Right.
Not at all. So they are utilizing Destiny Draw, which I do believe helps them a lot. You're playing kind of an even amount of all the rest of your cards in your deck, so you do have a very good chance, even though you're not playing balance, to get some each of your effect monsters, and then you use your effect monsters to get your spells, and then you can just Destiny Draw for whatever one piece you likely don't have. So I like how that all kind of comes together for Lunalights.
It's such a weird ratio of things too. If you play Lunalight, seeing 2 of the Emerald, and then
Yeah,
2 of the Martin, and
yeah, two Martin, two Emerald Bird. That's unheard of usually, and
2 of
three
the
White
fusion.
Rabbit.
Yeah, 3 Rabbit, 2 fusion.
Yeah, that is not what we usually see at all. So, Nyx is a member of the Discord. If you like Little Lights, ask him what happened. We've seen a lot of Little Lights lately. You can see 15 participation. Usually don't get any. Usually like
Right.
1 or 2. So 15, we've been seeing them around lately. And 13% conversion rate to the top 8. They would have had the best one, but they were off by 5 decks. So,
Yeah. I think right now, I think their boss monster was it the Saber Dancer.
yeah,
It just
they were
it's
necessary.
really hard for some decks to out, and I think that's why it can kind of weasel its way through
Mm.
and get to the top of a tournament like we're seeing.
Yeah, it is the only boss monster right now that cannot be targeted by card effects.
Yeah, and that's
I believe
huge.
so. Yeah.
They can get that out if they can get it out turn one. It makes it very difficult for other decks to even like, okay, how do I deal with this? It's like dealing with Cocytus, right?
Mhm. Right. Yeah. The other one besides Cocytus, that I didn't mention.
Well, right. I
But
mean, but that's a given. When you say that, when you say it's the
yeah.
only one that can't be
Yeah.
targeted, we're already assuming Cocytus.
Mhm. All right. So Lunalights did very well. If all you ever Lunalights, don't feel ashamed. Get in there. Try to clap it
Yeah.
up with Lunalights.
I mean, it did get a top 8 in Battle Phase EU and then a first place in Battle Phase Sunday. So there you go.
Hmm.
All right, next one, spell books. Now this one is from the Meta Freakly Friday. Now I did Battle Phase Sunday just last night, and we saw some spell book players, and that guy was going off with spell books. I didn't realize spell books could go off. This guy completely dismantled the board and then attacked for game on his first turn with spell books. It was amazing
Actually,
to watch.
so last night I got my Spellbook Tower by leveling up Carly Carmine level 40, and I started playing this deck, and I really like it. I want to play it more, but I need to learn how to play it better like this guy. I do not have 3 of the High Priestess, so I'm struggling a little bit,
That High Priestess is ridiculous.
this
Yeah.
deck collapsed. The High Priestess of Prophecy is as well as the Spellbook of Wisdom, two of the new cards that we got are two of the cards that made this deck so good in the TCG. High Priestess can be brought out multiple times per turn, as many times as you can bring it out. So
We
it's
saw it 3
cost,
times that in that
yeah,
game. Like,
its cost is all
yeah,
you need are three spell books in the hand. They can be the same spell books, they can be different spell books. It does not matter. You need to reveal three spell books, you can bring it out, and then each one can pop by banishing from the grave or your hand. And everything just works together so well. Now that you have a good effect to banish one spell book, now you can play the Crescent Library,
yeah.
which utilizes you not having any spellbooks in your grave. Now you can play this card, fill up your hand with spellbooks, only have this card, banish spellbooks out of your grave until you have none so you can use it again. That is why it's become a 3 of in this deck, and it's so fun to play. However, something I do know, I do miss having Silent Magician. I do miss
Get
having
her
more.
out of here. Come
I
on.
I do miss Silent Magician, and I do miss having more spellcaster monsters in the deck. Sometimes I do feel like I break, and if you see this deck here, please know that if you do not have three Priestess Magician, I would not play this deck. You're not gonna have a good time. You really, really need to see your High Priestess. You can try playing a card like Justice of Prophecy to see her more, but you're going to break a lot more because a lot of the interactions with this tight 20 card list come from you having Priestess and Crescent in your hand, or Priestess and three
Hmm.
spellbooks. So if you start the duel and you have Priestess and spellbooks, you're set. But if you don't, and you don't have Blue Boy either, that that's a break. You're going to break a lot more times if you don't have three Priestess. So
Well, those priestess are ridiculous because this guy started out with 2 in his hand. He summoned one,
yep.
popped, used see you later, brought it back to his hand, brought it
Uh,
back out, popped, and then he brought out the other one and popped with that one and then attacked for game. It was like, I don't think I've ever seen a spellbook's OTK before in all the spellbook games that I've cast.
yeah,
So it
and
was kind of cool to see that.
yeah, I really like spell books, so definitely check those out if you have the cards already. I wouldn't go for them though because they are very expensive. 3 of that High Priestess.
And she's a
Spell.
UR, right?
Yep, she is
In
a
a main
UR
box,
in a
I
main
believe.
box.
Yeah, I think I have one or
And
two.
she's from the Witches Sorcery. So if you have Witchcrafters, hey,
Oh, I
hopefully
might
you
have
didn't,
3. I think that
hopefully you
was.
didn't reset before you got her. Hopefully
Oh,
you didn't. Yeah,
we'll see. I'll have to check it
this
out.
deck is very fun. So
All right. Oh, I don't have the other spell books. That's what it was. All right. Moving on to the next one. You can say it trimids. I see it triamids because I'm fancy like that. Triamids. What? Why is this deck still being played?
yeah, people are holding on to Trimans. I'm not sure. I I'm pretty sure that they just got power crept.
Again?
Cosmic Cyclone. Yeah, they got power crept again. Cosmic Cyclone. People are not able to consistently bring out the Trimid Sphinx. Okay. Something that I think people are relying on Power Sing Stone way too much. I don't think it's
Oh.
as good of a card as people think it is.
Well, you have to use it at
Two,
the right time because I talked to Neg about it. Is like a lot of times you want to get it set up like in their draw phase. Like you want to
right.
switch out your field spells in their draw phase, so then you already have the 2 counters on it. So when they get into their standby and into main phase, then there's nothing they can do.
But the thing is, right? Like when you do that, you then sacrifice your dodges for your field spells. So you
Right.
open yourself up to your other huge weakness, which every deck is playing, Cosmic Cyclone.
Right.
So I don't like that. Like really,
Yeah, I
like you're
guess you got to
trading
realize
off.
or see what deck you're playing against. And like, can I do that in their draw phase? Am I gonna be able to pull it off?
That's
But
true, right?
you
Like
know
I
what I
guess
mean?
so. So it is powerful against decks that primarily rely on monster effects.
Like a
So
Black Wings or something.
right, like Black Wings, but I don't even think this is a safe card to use against Black Wings. More of I was thinking Witchcrafters is
Okay.
probably a deck that people were playing this card for this deck to do well against, but deck like Witchcrafters are not really in the meta right now. This is to
Which what?
negate Witchcrafters
Which
not in
deck?
the meta.
What?
They're not in the meta right
She's
now,
the
you know.
Witchcrafters are the upset girlfriend when the girl in the red dress walks by. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and just too many of the other decks in the meta just can succeed by destroying Trimans with back row,
Yeah.
Shiranui, Karakuri, Blackwings. All of them just one back row trap, one Cosmic Cyclone to disrupt them. That's all I need.
And my problem with Trimans, I used to play them quite a bit. Is the pulse? It's nice, but you're banishing your resources.
Oh yeah, it's so
You know what I
slow.
mean?
You're banishing your valuable resources. That's the
Because you
thing.
want to get them back in the deck with the dancer if you can, but then sometimes you're just desperate and you're banishing stuff to get rid of things on the field. And if you're
Yeah,
just
that's all.
relying on that
Like
as removal,
banishing your resources and then having them just gone forever, like that's not
uh,
good. That's
yeah,
definitely not good.
because you have no way to recover them. They might as well be playing Mind of the Plana on you because they're just going to a different dimension at that point.
Yeah, for real.
All right, but it's a good deck. If you have it, go for it. I mean, it's in a mini box, so it's not that bad. I
Yeah,
wouldn't buy it.
they Trimans were just like, everyone were just falling back in love with them again, and the meta just kind of shifted around them, so that they
Yeah,
don't really have any good matchups anymore. There's no really good way for them to main deck against a lot of the stuff that they're seeing. Cosmic Cyclone is just too strong against this deck that really revolves around field spells.
and it's so archetype specific. It's not like you're gonna throw in a tuner and you're gonna start
Yeah.
synchroing, or you're gonna start XZing with them because what you can use the hunter into the dancer or something. But what are you going into? So you're not really bringing out a
Yeah,
boss
and
monster that
it's not
way,
good enough. Your only removal is tied to rock monsters, Trimid cards.
right?
So, and yeah, it's not a recipe for success.
It's too slow. It's too slow. But I still like the deck.
Yeah. Mm.
I still like it. All right, now the last one. Thunder Dragon Gang Gang. Get ready. These guys, I can already hear them. Yeah, just freaking out because these guys are almost like the Ritual Beast guys, who are almost like the Stromberg guys. So I think they all get together and talk about how shitty their decks are.
And look at that, Circus. 50 participation on the week from Thunder Dragons after
Yeah,
those two tournaments that we removed, and that is insane.
people love Thunder Dragons. I don't. I say this every week. I get why people fall in love with the deck, but why this one is just it's a weird deck to me. I don't know.
I think people like the chain summoning. It's fun. Like I didn't like
Yeah.
Thunder Dragons at first, but when I started playing it, that's what kind of drew me in. But this is the best performing list on the week top four from Last Man, teching in a Chaos Sorcerer, likely because they don't have any more Levianeers. But yeah, this is a pretty tight Thunder Dragon list, which is pretty much what we've seen from Thunder Dragons 20 to 23 card lists, a lot smaller than the 26 to 30 card list we used to see before with a bunch of tuners and
Hmm.
stuff. And from week to week, we've kind of seen people differ on which tuners they have played. I've seen lists play the Jet Synchron as well as the two that we see here, the Glow Up Bulb and the Plague Spreader Zombie. So I guess it's just indicative of whatever synchros you want to play, which combinations that you are going to utilize more. Because at the end of the day, your Thunder Dragon combos are very flexible. It's up to you and what you see in your hand as to which ones you special summon. Because once you activate one effect, you really have access to the entirety of your deck,
Hmm.
honestly. Like everything else is just to make sure that you can see those monsters in conjunction with your tuners so that you can, summon the Levianeer, summon the synchros that you have in your Force Focus. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Thunder Dragons, they definitely have the representation of a meta deck. They have the conversion rate of a meta deck, but they do not have the high performance.
The
Uh,
results of a
yeah,
meta
the
deck. Yeah.
results. They don't have the results yet. Three tops from 50 people. I think that the Thunder Dragon list has to be optimized a little more. It's going to have to be analyzed what is holding them back, really. Necro Valley is something that this deck cannot play around. That is why you see Last Man is playing 3 Cosmic Cyclone because the Necro Valley is an absolute death sentence for this deck. You cannot summon any boss monster. You cannot summon any synchro monster.
Well, ultimately, it seems like I mean they do have a boss monster in there, but or two, but it seems like it's like kind of a synchro toolbox deck. And
Hmm.
if you're gonna play synchro toolbox, just play Crystron. It's a much better version of it.
Well, I will say that now Thunder Dragons are not relying on the Synchro Toolbox as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, although he is only playing one Living one Chaos Sorcerer, I have seen, we've seen Chaos Levianeer, Chaos Dragon Levianeer be the main win con
Okay.
Thunder Dragons as of lately. The other two top 8 decks did utilize that win condition, although they didn't perform as well as Last Man. So maybe it's something to say about
Maybe
it.
they should go back to the Synchro Toolbox. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
who knows?
Just saying. 2 top 8s and a top 4.
Yeah.
I guess it's not bad. Not bad, Thunder Dragons. Don't at me, all right? Don't want to hear about it. I can hear it already. Circus. All right. At a glance, real quick, overall representation, Magician Girls, of course, at the top. Cyber Dragons, look at that, didn't even score points, but they were played 57
Gosh.
times. Same
No
with Blue
for
Eyes,
Dragons.
Evil Eyes, Mayakashi. Look at all these Dragoonity, Infernity,
No,
Desperado,
bro.
Weather Painters. Oh, rest in peace, Weather Painters. They won the Meta Weekly, but it don't count. Not this week. All right, conversion rates this week. Desperado on top, followed by Lunalights and Triamids, because I'm fancy like that. Top 8 finishes. Magician Girls, of course, followed by Thunder Dragons. They're top 8s, but they ain't scoring points with it. And then most victories this week. Look at that. Magician Girls, followed by Lunalights and Spellbooks.
Very nice, very nice. So, congratulations to Magician Girls and Magician Girls players. You graduated this deck at long last from being a rogue deck. It
Take
is
your
now,
head off and throw it in the air.
Yep, so celebrate. You have
Yep.
earned it. Rogue decks have, Magician Girls have been a meme since their release.
Yep.
So, they are finally meta.
All right. Well,
So that's it for rogue decks this
Yep.
week.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week, hopefully with accurate results. Hopefully, I don't have the same problem before. I would think that the Meta Weekly and the will also be out of the results next week. I'm assuming they're going to go no side deck again.
Yeah, once again, I would assume so. Yeah.
So we'll have to see if the Meta Freaklies follow suit.
Probably for next week too. Casey Cup's still going to be going on, so we're probably not going to have them on the power rankings for, oh man, a while. So there you go.
That's why the Battle Phase series carrying.
Yeah, make sure you tune into Battle Phase because Battle Phase is all that matters this week, baby. That's it. We'll
Yeah,
see you
Kamel's
next week,
casting one in a half hour or hour. So
sure am.
this is coming out the day after, but you should go back and watch it. See Kamel cast it. It was a good time. I could tell you already, it was a great show. You missed a lot.
Thank you for your confidence in me.
All right, we're going to get out of here. See you next time. Oh, don't forget in the Discord, because that's where we host the tournaments. New player channel. Good stuff.
Get in there. Peace out.
See ya.